Should you buy a Glock 19? Well, in today's video, we are going to unbox, shoot, clean, and talk about the pros and cons of the Glock 19. Let's get into it.
That's the same thing you did last time. You were grouping tight at the beginning, the first half, and then the second half you were all over the place.
Well, I feel like my finger, I'm sliding my finger farther down as opposed to keeping it in the middle. I keep moving it towards the tip.
I like to be consistently trash the whole time.
Yeah.
So I want to show you that there is nothing inside the gun, but I'm not sure if you could see this. My finger got completely jammed in a game of basketball, so I have to pull things back with that, which is a little bit more weird, but you can see there's nothing in the chamber here. And when we take out the magazine, of course, we don't have anything in there. And you do have the slide lock and release on both sides here, but I like to just take the magazine out and then pull that back. You may want to take this video with a grain of salt, because when I started shooting, I was shooting a Glock. So it's just like your first phone. If you had an iPhone, you're more likely to stick with iPhone. If you got an Android, you're more likely to stick with Android. There's other great phones, other great guns out there. It's just what I started with, and that's what I'm most comfortable with. If you clicked on this video, you probably already did some research on the Glock 19, and you're looking at a couple different Glocks. You're probably looking at the Glock 17, looking at the Glock 43X, trying to figure out which one is going to be good for you. And of course, that's going to depend on the situation. If you're going to be carrying this every day, a lot of people are going with the 43X just because of how compact and small that is. A lot of people still use the Glock 19 because it's very easy to conceal as well. And some people just like to have a full-sized gun. Now, even if you don't buy a Glock, I highly recommend before you buy any gun that you hold it in your hands. Whether that be you borrow one from a friend, you go to a shooting range, you go to a gun store, do what you can to make sure that that gun feels comfortable, and that's something that you would feel comfortable shooting if a situation does happen. And that's exactly what I did when I bought my first gun. I was going between a Glock 19 and a Glock 17, or a version of those. I ended up going with the Shadow Systems, the DR920P, which is basically just a Glock 17 that's a little bit fancier. So they do have Shadow Systems that are based off the Glock 19. Why did I buy one that's based off the Glock 17? Well, at the time, I was getting into shooting, and when I held this in my hand, this felt a lot better. I was shooting a lot better with this gun, and I decided this would be, a great gun for around the house, great gun for going to the range, and it's been just that. Now that I'm getting a little bit more into shooting, I wanted something that was a little bit easier to conceal, something that I could have as my everyday. I could definitely use this as an everyday carry, but this is pretty bulky, and I would rather have something a little bit more compact.